What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Dragalia Lost video here on the channel. And actually, since we have quite a bit of stuff to go over, they just released some new information on the two new banners that we have coming up, as well as, get this, 70 mana circles. So new 70 mana circles and new units. So let's go over the new units first. First, let's actually go over this other banner. They're gonna actually, I guess, have two banners going side by side. Now, a lot of time when they do that, they give us like free single summons, so maybe we'll get free daily single summons. I doubt we're going to get free multi-summons daily, but we'll have to see. But basically, this is completely to prepare you guys for the Agito event we're going to be having coming up tomorrow, where we're going to be bringing our dark adventurers to take on light Agito, to get dark Agito weapons, your 6-star dark Agito weapons. So I'm not going to go into the units. We know what Lathnia does. We know what Delphi does, obviously. And Nefaria, spoiler, is getting the 70MC, and that's why she's on this banner. And then we have Sithonius and overthe for the Dark Dragons. Simply put, the Dragons are not worth 74. Spoiler alert. If you did not get a Dream Summon ticket because you're a free-to-play player and you don't have Delphi, you don't have Lathnia, and you don't have Cleo, then I would say this banner is probably going to be worth going for, because, you know, the three focused dark adventurers are probably going to be somewhat usable. Nefaria will probably be somewhat usable because of her 70MC, or if you didn't get Valentine's Addis as well, like, he's probably another option you could use for Agito. Like, no confirmation of exactly what the mechanics are yet, but more than likely he'll be usable. But overall, I have every single unit on this banner, so it's a hard skip for me. But for you guys that don't have that, it's a possibility to summon on. So let's go into the new banner, which is actually going to be a water banner. So we're going to be having part 1 and part 2, looks like. So it looks like all the adventures that they posted in the Twitter video yesterday are not all going to be on this banner. So we'll have to see how the next two units go. We thought that one of them was going to be a welfare unit, but it looks like possibly we could have 2 more 5-stars, or maybe 1 5-star, 1 4-star adventurer, and then 1 more dragon. The little guy is probably going to be another dragon, because we typically don't get welfare units with facility events. We typically only get those for raids. So more than likely, they're probably going to all be in banner. You know, unless they decide to do a welfare unit on this event. But this guy's mechanics are really, really strange. So, so level 80, you guys will see here, he does have, you can't even, let me make this just a little bit smaller so you guys can see. There you go. He has, at level 80, 743 health, 518 strength, overall might of 2501. You know, pretty standard for 2501. But, so he has 3 different abilities depending on what mode you have him activated in. So, let's go over that. So, deals water damage to enemies directly ahead and applies one of the following effects based on the user's cooking stance. So, you can actually switch out cooking stance. So, appetizer stance inflicts frostbite and reduces enemies' defense by 5%. For 30 seconds, the defense reduction will not stack. So, pretty solid. It is only a 5% defense reduction, not like a 15%, like, you know, like Wedding Ellie, Valentine's Melody. But 5% defense, I believe that is like the same modifier that you have for Yuden. So still pretty good, and inflicts an additional debuff with Frostbite. And we'll go into Frostbite. We have a little bit of teaser for that when we go over the 70 MCs in a minute here. So we'll go over that in a second. So pretty solid. Don't know what the mods are, obviously, yet on this. And it doesn't even say how much damage he does yet as well. So we can't really tell damage-wise what each of these skills will do. But then we go into Entree Stance, inflicts stun, and reduces enemy strength by 15 per second for 30 seconds. And once again, cannot stack. So pretty cool. Stun is a pretty useful ability. That's, you know, we relied a lot on stun for a lot of the Agito fight for Volk. So that's something that if like the next Agito that we get is water, a lot of people are speculating now that we have, we'll go into the 70 MCs and show you guys a little bit why we're saying that, and another water banner could potentially lean Agito to be water next. So if the Agito, enemy is going to be able to be afflicted by stun, that will make this ability very, very strong. So we'll have to see, though. And then finally, Desert Sands is just straight up inflict freeze. No additional debuff. So I would say, honestly, Desert Sands is probably the weakest. Because stun and freeze both are immobilizing debuffs. So I don't know why you would not use this unless he's unaffected by stun. So that would be the only reason I could see you wanting to change to Desert Stance. So let's go into his skill 2. Skill 2, once again, applies the following effect depending on the stance. So on Appetizer Stance, you're going to increase your defense by 15%, and Inspiration by 2 stages. This defense will not stack. So it looks like Inspiration by 3 stages, Inspiration by 2 stages. So Inspiration is one of his new mechanics, I would assume. So let's go into, so then Entree, increase crit rate by 10%, and Inspiration by 3 stages, and then increases strength by 8% for 15 seconds, Inspiration by 2 stages. So overall, I would actually say Desert Stance for his S2 may be the best, just overall, because it's not depending, crit rate is depending on, you still have some RNG in that, and then defense, like, I don't think that one will be that great, to be honest. I think that you're definitely going to go for crit rate or strength overall, just because, especially if we're talking like an Agito fight eventually, you definitely want your DPS to be as high as possible, and that's where you want your, your DPS buffs over. In normal, he has 10% strength for his co-ability. He has crit rate equal attack rate 2. Increase the attack rate by 10% for 20 seconds each time one of the user's attacks is a critical hit. After activating this ability, will not activate again. So this is where you would want to use your Entree Stance at least one time, to at least activate this one time to get your additional attack rate up. So that's pretty cool that he does have some synergy there with his Entree status for his skill 2. Then he has burn res 100%, pretty normal. Combo time +4 extends the window between hitting an enemy and the combo counter resetting for 4 seconds. So that is pretty cool. Pretty good synergy there. And here it's actually going to go into the stats shown here include the increase, decrease for new abilities, represent the adventure at level 80, blah, 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 like normal. So this kind of shows you what you can do. It's how it fills your gauge. I would assume the inspiration gauge is this here. When Valeria's combo count is 20 or higher, his normal attacks will change to his enemies. Chopping vegetables. Okay, so maybe, I guess this is like showing you when your combo count is a certain range, it looks like. Then that's when you can change your modes from dessert, entree, appetizer, all that good stuff. I think that's how it reads. Okay. It's just talking about when your combo is 20 or higher. I don't know if that means that you have to be 20 or higher exactly. Just shows... I guess it just shows animation. So I would assume you can select, though. Or maybe it's like you cannot select your stance and it's automatically going to be based on. Let's see here. His Amuse Bush skill can inflict frostbite. When Valerie's combo count is 20 or higher, his normal attacks will change so that he attacks enemies as if he were chopping vegetables. It just says 20 or higher. Okay. Normal attacks will change the next time a normal attack is made. His combo. Okay. It doesn't say you can change this. Let me go up top. You can actively... Stances you can actively change. Okay, so you should be able to change these depending by tapping a special icon that displays during battle. You can switch between appetizer or entree. Okay, so I don't like the whole 20 combos of like showing different animations is like what confused me of all this stuff down here. But honestly, it's just going to show you these are the 3 modes that you can do. So this looks like appetizer, entree, and then the third one looks like dessert. So, okay. Very cool. Alright, so that's how he works. So then finally we have the dragon. So there's only 2 units in the first part of this banner. So we have here at level 100, 370 HP for Nimbus, and then 125 strength, 995 might. Pretty normal. And then we have Pancake Paradise, restores HP to the user and raises Dragon Gauge by 20% and extends shapeshift time by 5 seconds. Shapeshift time cannot exceed the maximum permitted use. And then his ability is, if the user is attuned to water, increase strength by 45% and adds 55% modifier to the next crit damage. So pretty cool. So you definitely want to have a unit that can maximize on crit damage. So definitely, so it's going to be a weird spot because water doesn't have a good dagger unit. So if you're going to be using this for a crit damage modifier like type hero, like, you know, like Valeria here, or Valerio, sorry, Valerio. How's he going to work if we don't have like that extra crit modifier for the dagger co-ability? So I don't know if this dragon will be that good right now, to be honest. Like, because Valerio is not like completely reliant on crits, but this dragon really is. So I don't think this dragon's good unless we get a water dagger. So maybe we are going to get a water dagger in part 2 that's going to be usable. But it's like, will this outdo like a double Cerise team comp? I don't know. Like, it's really interesting to see how that's all going to play out. But that's the banner. So let's briefly go into the 70 MCs, because I don't want to make this video too terribly long. So finally, we have these 70 MCs here for the next Mana Spiral. So get this, Xainfried already is going to be a 70 MC. We anticipated Xainfried was going to be one of the first adventurers for water. He is the OG 5-star water adventurer. Him and Xander. So Xainfried did get it first, and let's go over what his change is going to be. So at level 100, he gets 949 HP, 580 strength, and overall might of 3229. Then for Dragon Frostfang, it goes from deals water damage to target and nearby enemies and inflicts frostbite. Frostbite foes take extra damage. So I don't know if frostbite just means that they take extra damage like another bog mechanic, or if this is meaning that the frostbite effect's already active, and then if they're frostbite before you S1, then he take more damage if the units are frostbite. So we'll have to see if frostbite is just like a bog effect, or if it's a damage over time like poison or bleed, to see how that's going to impact Dragon Frostfang. Because if that's another modifier on top of inflicts frostbite, so like their frostbite by something else, like you're playing on Valerio that has frostbite as well, then that'll be pretty cool. At least he did have frostbite, right? I'm pretty sure. Let me not misinform you guys. Yeah, inflicts frostbite. His appetizer stance. I was pretty sure that appetizer status did, appetizer stance did inflict frostbite. Okay, cool. Alright, good deal. Alright, so we'll have to see how Dragon Frostfang actually works, and what frostbite is, what it does, to see, like, to impact how good his S1 will be. But then we go into Guardian's Fury, deals water damage to enemies directly ahead, and increases the entire team's strength by 20% for 20 seconds, and raises the Dragon Gauge if the attack connects. And Guardian's Fury, from when I played Dragon Fury, was like an awesome attack. It really, it was a pretty fast skill animation. So he was definitely one of my favorite units to use right when the game launched. So that is pretty cool. Strength debuff of 20% is very, very high, on top of doing damage, on top of filling Dragon Gauge. And the reason why Xainfried is good for Dragon Gauge is because, once again, Dragon Claws 4. Each time you shapeshift, increase your strength up to 3 times per quest. So he's basically going to be like the water unit, it looks like. And from what my memory serves me, I believe his SP fill rate was pretty low. Was pretty high. So like he could get his skills pretty fast, similar to Yuden. So we'll have to see if they change his SP cost or not with a 70 MC. If it's going to be easier or not. But spears, like swords, are a pretty good DPS fill rate overall, just as that category. They're not like axes or bows, where their SP cost generally takes a while to fill, so because of how fast their hits connect. So they have a good combination between regular hits and force strikes. So I think overall that's going to mean that you're going to be able to proc get into Dragon form more often. Guardian's Fury is going to be a very notable skill, and even Frostfang will be a notable skill. So pretty excited to test this out. And then Potent Burn Res, same normal thing that if he would have got burned, he gets a 15% strength increase for 10 seconds. Activating this buff will not activate again for 15 seconds, so he gets a damage increase modifier if he would potentially get burned and it's negated. So, and then he also has Dragon Time plus 25%, extend shapeshift time by 25%. So we'll have to see what his optimal dragon will be. Probably Leviathan. The Leviathan has a lot of good damage on him, and his Leviathan's normal attacks are pretty good as well. But obviously, you'd want to try to get him killed as fast as possible because of Dragon Claws 4. So you do want to keep that in mind as well. Now we go to Nefaria. So Nefaria, obviously you guys knew from the banner she was going to get a 70MC. That's why she was featured. So there's her stats: level 100, 961 HP, 565 strength, 3226. As far as might, so did they actually... So a difference of 3 might. Nefaria, 3 lower on might. So string-wise, 565 to 580, and then 940 to 961. So Nefaria is actually a little tankier than Xainfried. Interesting to note. Alright, so deals shadow damage to the target and nearby enemies, inflicts poison, blind, or poison foes take extra damage. That is a pretty awesome upgrade. I believe she only did blind before. So getting poison and blind, and if they're poisoned already, they take additional damage, is pretty sweet. It's going to be a pretty useful ability. And then activates Twilight Arrows. The user's next 4 strike will deal extra damage, inflict blindness, and dispel 1 buff. That is a huge increase. That seems absolutely nuts. And will deal extra damage. So it looks like it deals damage. Will deal extra damage. Activates Twilight Arrows. So I guess it activates Twilight Arrows, which does damage, and then it also inflicts blind and dispels a debuff. So it looks like it, even though it has like that sword icon, which normally means that's like an attack buff, it looks like it actually goes into Twilight Arrows. So that's pretty cool, actually. So having a strip, having blindness on another skill, blindness on your S1, and also having poison is going to be super good. Now it's going to be interesting to see if Agito can be affected by blindness. That will directly affect her playability for Agito if blindness can be affected on him. So we'll have to see on that. But, you know, that seems like definitely massive improvement for Nefaria's kit for sure. So... And then once again, we have here a skill haste 15%, full HP, poison and blindness plus 60%. Increase the chance of inflicting poison and blindness by 60% when HP is full. That's super good to note. So I would think that for High Jupiter, she's not going to be as good. But maybe for Agito, the goal is to be at full HP. So does that mean that we're going to have comps of only one Cleo, one like a Heinwald, for instance, or a Summer Verica, and then like a Delphi and a Lafayette comp? So does that mean for sure Cleo could not be a 2 to 4 of comp if this is going to be a huge mechanic? Is Nefaria going to be a staple mechanic? We'll have to see. But her kit definitely wants you to be at full HP for a lot of the time. And then once again, potent paralysis res, just like Delphi, is going to have the whole paralysis res as well. So, and you get that strength buff like normal. And then increase damage to poison enemies by 30% and increase blindness by 40%. So does that mean that you can stack both and get an additional 70% if both are affected? That'd be pretty insane. An additional 70% damage, just constant, if you can keep those debuffs active. Pretty sweet. And then finally, we have another dark unit, which is Cleo, which he's going to go to 3150 might, 915 HP, 535 strength, which is actually pretty high for a 4-star. And then she's going to restore HP to all allies and removes paralysis. Increase the entire team's defense by 25% for 15 seconds and gradually recovers their HP for 15 seconds. So that is pretty cool. Both of her skills have built-in HP recovery. Wow, does this mean she actually makes Heinwald not relevant? As far as like as a dedicated healer, obviously Heinwald does a lot more for like DPS stuff, but as far as for a pure healer for utility, this seems way better. Increased defense by 25%. That is a huge number. I'd have to go back and look to see for sure if like for instance Jang and Thaniel's defense buff is higher. I want to say Halloween Lowen is around 25%, something like that, or maybe his is only 15%, but that is pretty insane. Now, granted, Halloween Lowen has the HP increase, so probably overall utility Halloween Lowen is still better, but you know, her S2 has the gradual HP regen, and then the S1 does not. So that's probably where Halloween Lowen is better, because obviously your skill 1 generally fills faster than your S2. So that's probably where we're going to be. Halloween Lowen probably is better overall. But for Dark Healers, seems Cleo's pretty up there. Seems pretty insane, actually. She has 20% potency on her co ability, which I think makes that the same as a 5-star. And then Magical Reduction. Fills 100% of skill rates at the start of quest, so 100% skill prep. Pretty good. Using Elder's Cure grants the user Dispel Strike effect. When this effect is active, the user's next 4-strike will dispel one enemy buff. This effect cannot stack and will be consumed on use. So pretty cool, built in. 100% skill prep plus a strip when you have your Elder Cure, which is the first ability, right? Yeah. So when your skill 1 is active, then you're basically going to go into doing a 4-strike, and then you're going to be able to dispel a debuff. Pretty good. And then, once again, 100% potent paralysis res, and then also has increased defense by 15% when HP is 70% or above. So that's cool. Just makes her a little bit more tanky. So pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think of these 70 MCs. Let me know what you guys think of the banner. A little bit longer video. Probably should have separated this 2 different videos, but it is what it is. So let me know what you guys think of Xainfried, Cleo, Nefaria. Let me know what you guys think of Valerio and Nimbus, the new 2 water banner units. Are you guys going to summon? Let me know. I'll probably do a should you summon video later on once the mods and stuff come out. So, but let me know, guys. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's Dragalia Lost content. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you drop a like down below. Hit the subscribe button. As always, if you guys are new, ring that bell so you guys are notified when we post new videos. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.